Hello guys, this is Wolf here. Basically trying to come up with a good way to sum up MFF. This, bear in mind, is a few weeks late, and by that I mean like it's almost the start of winter break for me right now. So I put a little sheet together because the last one was the first take of this was all over the place, so I wanted to make sure we fix that up. So first off, let's talk about what happened the day before. So MFF started Thursday. I unfortunately couldn't make it Thursday or Friday because of work, and I work Thursdays and Friday nights, so that didn't work out for me anyways. So my friend and I, we decided we'd go on Saturday. Now, my initial ride said that, oh, he wasn't going to go, and so I was like, oh no, I need to scramble. I needed to scramble and like find somebody else who wanted to go, and I chose the other guy that I went to Aquatifer with, and we went. I found out later that the guy could have gone, but my phone was bugging out because it's a 5S, and the updates have been bugging it up lately. That I didn't get the message saying, oh, he could still go, so I could have gone with him too if I wanted to. So what happened was we ended up going. So I got off Fridays, like off work at Friday night at 12, which was technically, if you think about it, Saturday morning, because Fridays are like the busiest for me. So I called my friend. He told me to call him right after I got out of work and was at home, so that way we'd meet up at my place, because that was the initial plan. We would stay at my place, go to sleep early, and then get up early, because we didn't know what Chicago traffic was like, because we don't normally go down there that often. Plus, it's Chicago. But the problem with that was that the initial plan was that we wanted to leave at 4 a.m. Well, because of the time we went to bed, which was 1:37 a.m. exactly, we woke up late and it was already 3:56. We were supposed to be like ready to go out the door. So, yeah. Now, here's the issue though. The other issue. So we knew how to get down there, but we didn't want to take the toll booths, and there were multiple reasons why. One, we didn't want to pay the tolls, and two, we didn't have exact change. And, because we were a little pressed for time, and, emotions, cloud your better judgment, you just decide, fuck it, we'll just take the other route, because that seems the most easiest one, even though it's, like, zigzagging all over the goddamn place. But we managed. We eventually got to MFF, and, upon entering the door, like, the main building, we went through, like, one of the sky bridges from the parking lot, or the parking lot area. My friend and I got lost, meaning we didn't know where anything was, we didn't know how to navigate in the maps, because first time being there, were a little too complex for us to understand. So I managed to stop by and ask a guy from the UK, I think, yeah, his name was Vex, and I talked to him earlier this week, because I wasn't sure if at the time when I ran, he helped us out trying to find registration. I don't think I ever thanked him for it, because it was a difficult thing, and he offered to show us where it was, and it was nice, and I felt bad because I didn't know if I actually said thank you yet. So yeah. If he's watching this video, thanks again for helping my friend and I out looking for registration. So, got there. Now, the first thing we did there was we went to the dealer's den because my friend wanted to go and look at the art. Now, this completely slipped my mind until we passed by, I think it was another artist's panel, or no, booth, because I then remembered, oh, wait a minute. Hey, Bandit, you know that person who made your badge that I commissioned for? Yeah, she's here. And he's like, really? So, Bandit, which is the friend that I took to Aquatifer with, I commissioned a badge for him because he didn't have a badge for Aquatifer. Now, I couldn't pay enough to get it in color, so I kind of had to color it myself. I did the best I could. It probably wasn't the best, but yeah, I tried. The sketch, though, was done by Royalty Griffin, which, if you haven't checked her art or her FA page or anything like that, you definitely should. It's worth looking at. I mean, she has a booth for a reason. She's not a bad artist. She's actually a really talented artist. So, but I digress. So he finally got to meet her and thank her in person. And, you know, we chatted a bit. I found out some tips and stuff because I wanted to ask her where she got the paper from when she was working on current badges and whatnot. We also saw another dealer from the dealer's den at Aquatifer that we kind of had a conversation, like, was the last person at the dealer's den we had a conversation with before leaving Aquatifer, but that's another story. I have his business card around here somewhere. Oh well. Meanwhile, I just remembered, oh wait a minute, this person's going to be at this con, or this particular artist that I liked and was held accountable for making me a furry in the first place, was also attending. So I was like, oh wait a minute, I should go up on the Telegram chat on my phone and that he was like in the group chat that he's a member of and see if he's around. So I clicked, and you already know how Telegram works. It's basically like every other social media account. It's like Facebook Messenger, only not tied in with Facebook, and it's a lot more nicer to use. But I digress. So we were trying to figure out where he was and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, we're right outside the dealer's den. I told him we're sitting down over by this like recliner area. I took a photo. It's like, that's the entrance, blah 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 blah. And then I don't think he saw us, but I did notice, like, you know, when I was like talking with a friend, you know, just kind of like people watching, meaning, you know, just like looking around, like not really doing anything, but you're not really like, I don't know how to make this sound really less awkward than it is, but I saw like the badge. I was like, I know that guy, and I was like, I said his name out loud, and I was like, hey Felper, or whatever, but or I can't remember if I actually said hey Felper or hey Taco, because he goes by both, but you know, he immediately knew who it was, and I was like, hey, I'm this person, blah 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 blah. So I introduced myself, he introduced me to his mate, and I think Rick was with him? If not, he was in the dealer's den, split up, and so was Coddle. We met Coddle like later. So I had fan art for both Coddle and Taco. So Taco I gave his first. Now, he surprised me, because he not only gave me the badge that I paid for, well, or planning to get, because he said I did, but I don't think I did, and I kind of feel bad, and I don't want to cheapskate him. But basically, he made my badge for MFF, and I really like it. It's like by far one of my favorites now. Like, and like who says that? Not a whole lot of people could really say that. Oh, I got a badge from like the artist that made me a furry in the first place, and this is like by far one of my favorite ones. And again, Taco, if you're looking or viewing this video, which is again highly unlikely, thank you. I really mean that. I truly mean that. So yeah, so we got to do that. Later, we went back into the dealer's den because Taco and Co thought, hey, Coddle might be walking around. So we're like, okay. The only thing I could really go off of, because again, I've never met the person in real life, was pink glasses, because that was his signature thing on many of his characters, because pink glasses, which, honestly, when you see the guy in person, they look good on him. I don't think anyone else I know could pull off the pink glasses. Let's be honest. But, so, we finally met. It was like, you know, a good time. I gave him, some fan art as well of his character. He liked it, I'd assume. We later went out to lunch, and they offered, because, I mean, we were kind of hanging out, which was nice. I really feel like I should pay them back, and I really know. I know, he didn't want me to, but I was like, I really should, because it's one of those things where, you know, I don't like not being able to pay somebody back when I know I should. But I digress. I might as well just title this video "I Digress Video," because that's all I've done. I also finally got to see a person that I've talked to frequently online that I would consider a friend. I don't know if he would do the same thing. But when I talked to him a lot, he said he was having, like, some hard times. I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't think he'd want me to do that for him, but, you know, if you pay attention, it's out there. His name was Phantom Full Force, and I got to meet him for the first time. It was like, I immediately, like, responded, like, I didn't point, but I was like, I know that person. I was like, Phantom, hey Phantom! He's looking around, like, where? And I was like, it's me! I was like waving, we flagged him down, got a photo with him. I got a photo with a couple of people I wanted to get photos with, honestly. I'm not gonna share that, like, in this video, but you're probably gonna, like, I'll put a link in the description of the photos I took. That'll lead to probably my FA page if you want to do that, but it's your choice. So I also saw Fuse there, and I don't know if I made a recap video, like if I mentioned him in the recap video for Quadrifer, but he's a Mischief Maker suitor. He actually kind of convinced me to go with their suits because they had good eyesight, or good peripheral vision, that hard to pronounce word. When I ran into him, I was like, hey, Fuse, I was like, you remember me? And he's like, yeah, hi, and it's like, I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, we gotta go, and it's like, my friend and I were just like, had this like really confused look on our face. We're like thinking, was he? Nah. So then I was like, a week or two later asked him, I was like, were you drunk? He's like, no, I don't drink alcohol. So I was like, oh, so you were tired then? Because I know what that's like. You know, when you have little or no sleep, you get really loopy, like slap happy, almost like you are drunk, but you're not. Again, I digress. I need to stop doing that. Didn't get a photo with him, though. Next year, perhaps. When I have more time and when I'm not just staying at a con for just one day. Maybe. Speaking of photos, I got to retake a photo with Sarathan, who's a fellow Wisconsinite fur and also a member of a Telegram chat that I'm in. Had I not botched the first one when I was at a Quadrifer, that would have been my very first fursuit photo. With a fursuit, not in my own, because I don't own one yet. So I got to retake that one. Later, my friend and I, we went down to the, I forget what it was. I'd have to look at the program. I think it was I don't know if they called it the fursuit meet and greet, but it was basically a place where you could see all the fursuits in one spot, if those people chose to be there. So, oh boy, who didn't I run into there? So I got photos with Cosmic, Wuffy, who used to be big on Vine, before Vine died. lest we never forget. Moment of silence. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what it is with some of these people. Like, the people I've run into so far, except for, like, Phantom and Nas, those people were extremely tall. Like, the first thing I said to him was like, I was like, excuse me, are you Cosmic? He's like, yes. And I was like, and I'm not trying to mock or anything, but I was like, oh, and it's like, wow, I couldn't think of anything better to say, to be honest. I feel really bad. You know, that moment when you're just, like, socially awkward and you just don't want to say anything because, you know you're going to fuck up first impressions, but I can't say anything. But anyway, so I was like, you're really tall. And he's like, yeah, I get that a lot. So I was like, oh, well, do you mind if if I take a quick photo with you real quick? He's like, sure. So got a photo with him. That was awesome. Later on, we found Jesus Raptor walking around. We were blessed with his presence. And got a photo with him as well. So now that image will probably be blessed. Cloud was there, and I saw him there, got a photo with him, who was also a big Viner, again, before Vine died. Later, I saw Booker again. Booker, I didn't even have to say who I was. He kind of remembered who I was, and it's like, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but it's like, he managed to recognize me by name, and I don't know if that's because of the fan art, because, again, I gave him fan art at the last con that he was at, or not the last, I don't know if it was the last con, but it was the one that he was the guest of honor at, so it's like 12-ish right now. Later I saw Taru for the first time, and I was like, hey, gotta go get a photo with Taru, because, you know, you got one with Majira, you gotta get one with Taru. I mean, they're like a set. You don't just separate them. Plus, Taru probably doesn't get enough love. Not that that means anything, but, you know, YouTube comments, when am I supposed to stop? Anyways, so got a photo with him. I knew it wasn't the actual guy, like, the actual Taru in suit, but, you know, regardless, still tall as hell. I'm literally, like, a midget among giants in some of these scenarios. Like, everyone's like 6'5" or whatever, and I'm just like little itty bitty 5'7" guy walking around. Later I saw another guy from a Telegram chat. He was actually the admin. I was like, hey, I like your suit, and he's like, and I was like, you don't know me, but but I'm in your Telegram chat. He's like, oh, he's like, I'm this person. I was like dangling thing. He's like, oh, hey, and he's like, and I was growing this at the time. It was actually a lot shorter than what it is now. This is unbearable, and I gotta keep it until May. This is gonna be fun. But yeah, so I got a photo with him, and then I posted it on Twitter later, and I got an immediate response from the guy. He's like, you don't look very happy. I was like, I was trying to withhold my excitement, because this was not only the first main con that everybody talks about that I went to, even again if it was just for one day, but there were a lot more people at this one than Aquatifer, which makes sense because Aquatifer was a brand new con. Later I saw another person who was well known on Vine, and that was Diesel Raccoon. I felt really stupid for what I asked next, because I was like, I know who it is, but, you know, I didn't want to, you know, get the wrong assumption. I was like, are you Diesel Raccoon? He's like, he was talking to some, I feel really bad because I felt like I interrupted his conversation with that, whoever that suitor was, but I was like, he's like saying, maybe? And he's like, who wants to know? And I was like, oh, I was just wondering if I'd be able to take a photo with you. I was like, oh, sure. So I was like, took a photo with him, done, moved on, because, you know, it was like, this is literally I feel like I'm like reliving, like I fit whatever that types of furries video that Majira made. Like brand new furries that just come in and they need to take a photo of everything. That's literally my experience so far at these cons. I'm not even kidding. Later that night, and this is like it's already getting dark. Ran into went to the YouTube panel thing again, or the furry YouTuber meet. Majira was there, and I was like, hey, my friend hasn't gotten a picture with Majira yet, so that was the first thing we needed to get off the bucket list. And then I said, hey, yeah, you may not remember, we had a brief conversation. I was like, you probably don't remember this, but I met you at the Quadifer. I was there at Quadifer when you were a guest of honor, and I took a photo with you, and then I kind of felt bad because I messed it up, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not very photogenic, and he's like, I don't know if he immediately knew, but he was just like, oh yeah, I know who you are. But I was like, yeah, I kind of botched it. I was wondering if you'd be alright with taking a retake. He's like, oh yeah, we should totally do that. Took the photo, didn't botch it this time. It actually looked really great, and I'm glad it kind of turned out great, because I don't want to make that a third strike in a row, because that would already make it really awkward, and I don't want it to make it sound like I was just like basically trying to find an excuse to take a photo with the same guy at every single con. At that point, then you'd get obsessive. So yeah, so that was done. Saw Beagle and Red. I attempted to take a photo, but my photos, again, kind of got botched. Of course, my friends turned out better than mine, but oh well. Sunny Dingo was there. We got photos with them. We both did. And that was great. He gave his little signature, have yourself a good day, line in his Australian accent. Al the Wolf was there, which, you know, upon meeting him for the first time, we actually, okay, so he's also another big furry YouTuber who kind of started on Vine. I can't verify that, but I know he used to be big on Vine as well, but again, Vine died, and thus many moved on, or didn't, and are still trying to hold on to those Vine memories. But, yeah, so it turns out it wasn't only just our first time at MFF, it was also his. So that was pretty unique. Later that night we went to the Dutch Angel Dragon meet and greet. I mainly wanted to go there to kind of see to verify if whether or not Telephone got the fan art that I was originally going to give them when they were guests of honor at a Quadifer, but because, again, they were sick, I ended up giving it to Omnom the Squirrel, because they know each other and they frequently visit their place, so I wanted to give that to them to see if they could give that to her. So I briefly kind of looked to have a conversation with her real quick. I was like, excuse me, yeah, hi, I gave you fan art before and never really... I gave it to Omnom the Squirrel, and I don't know, I just wanted to make sure if you got it. She's like, yes, I got it, and I was like, thank you so much. I was like, you're welcome, and I just kind of left, because, you know, I didn't, again, want to get too awkward. Excuse me. Later, we went out to dinner, with Phantom, because Phantom, and his buddy offered. We went, we all paid our separate bills, because, you know, you don't want to all put that on one tab. We ate at this restaurant while we were watching the Badgers lose. That was not a fun game. Later we went to the dance. We didn't stay there for too long, though, because, you know, time. Then we had to leave, and that's when things got a little hectic. I can't tell what that's saying. Oh. Then things got a little hectic, because, first of all, for whatever reason, the GPS that we took, when we took all the back roads, my phone used to keep record of what route we took, so that way if I wanted to retake that route, I'd just do that. For whatever reason, it didn't this time. So, yeah, we ended up having to try and reroute every so often because it was taking us onto the toll booth route, and we, again, didn't have exact change. So, we did find a way to stay off that route, but then my phone died, and we had no map. Which really reminds me, I need to invest in one of those mobile, like those, boxes that you can take with you to charge your phone in. Because those are really helpful and probably would have helped us out a lot. We eventually did find our way through, and it only took us like about almost 2 hours. I didn't get home until like 1:45 a.m. in the morning, so yeah, I was really feeling that one. I didn't mention this before, but I also, just before leaving, we got a bunch of stuff. One of the things I bought was the Midwest Fur Fest shirt. I don't know if you can actually see it. I'm going to back out real quick. But yeah, I bought it because I thought, I might as well get one for each con that I go to, to prove I was there. I also got this thing called, I can't believe I got this thing, but what can I say? I've escalated to the next step of furry trash, let's be honest here. I got this thing called a daikimora, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce. But basically that's like a body pillowcase. And the artist's name was Tardy. I'm not even gonna show the other side of it. I'm just gonna show one side of it because it's not my art, and I don't know if that's gonna be an issue. So, is this, and that's it. That's all you see. But you probably know what it is if you've seen this kind of design before. So I don't need to explain further. Yeah, she was at the con too. I didn't actually know that, and she's also one of the cool artists. Or one of the artists I believe think is cool. Ifus, or is it Ifus? I'm not even sure. Was also there. And they're also an amazing artist, so I don't know if they had a booth set up there, but that would have been nice to meet them too. Yeah, so overall thoughts. Oh, and we bought, or I actually didn't have to buy it. They just handed these out. It's a program of the entire event. One thing I would have to change, or would like to change at my MFF experience, and it's got nothing to do with the actual staff there, because they did their jobs. Probably try and find the people that I also wanted to get photos with, because there were a lot of people on that list of people I wanted to get photos with that I didn't see there, or saw but couldn't really get a chance to take the photos with, because again, time, and they were busy with other things, and you didn't want to act like a creep, so there was that thing. On top of that, you didn't really, two members of a podcast that I listened to were also there, and I wanted to kind of get a chance to meet them for the first time. That didn't happen. But yeah, I didn't see that. And it's funny because every time I left this left one room and asked, hey, do you guys know where so-and-so is? And it's like, yeah, I think they just went in that room. It's like, we just came from there. So we were just like, are you kidding me? But, yeah, it happens. But yeah, that's all I've got for, as far as MFF goes. The next con that I'm probably going to go to is for Squared, because, let's be honest here, for the time's sake, it's a lot closer to home. I could literally drive there and not have to stay there, although, if I find somebody there, there that I know, hopefully they wouldn't mind if I just crash there a few days, because I don't really want to keep driving back and forth, because That's gonna be a pain in the ass. And not to mention gas strains and all that jazz, but But yeah, I'll probably go there.